Oh, Chapter 7, Darkness Comes. Ooh. I do my best to keep up with the girl, dodging and weaving through the scandalized crowd as politely as possible. She's ridiculously fast and I'm somewhat out of shape. I bet any one of the guys would be able to catch up to her. I really need to start working out. I chase her all the way into the lower district and I'm running out of energy. I think I'm about to lose her when I catch a stroke of luck. She turns down an alley lined with bars and restaurants. The people there barely seem to pay us any mind as we run past. When I manage to catch up to her, I see it's a dead end. I stop in my tracks and the girl turns around slowly to face me. She only stares at me with expressionless black eyes. I slowly, cautiously approach her as if she were a cornered animal. I just want to talk to you. There was no need to run, I just have a few questions. The girl raises both hands up, the backs of her hands facing me. I stare back in astonishment. I recognize that stance. Is she going to... Suddenly her hands are covered in something like flames, only they're the wrong color. They're black. I start to back up, but I'm not going to make it in time. The girl gives me a chilling smile before throwing the fire at me. I have to protect myself. I panicked. I throw up my hands to protect my face. I vividly remember my practice session with Shu. Seeing a ball of fire come at me so close I can feel the heat in my face. The fire explodes into tiny little flames against the shield I almost unconsciously erected. My pulse beats fast in my throat as I process what just happened. She attacked me! Oh my gosh, she looks really scary. The girl doesn't give me any time to think though. She summons up more fire and keeps throwing them at me relentlessly. I can feel the force of her power and it's a lot stronger than Shu's was. I can't keep this up. I move slowly backwards with my hands out in front of me as she throws fireball after fireball with a crazed grin. Whoa! My perspective is suddenly tilting and I realize too late that I'm falling, having tripped over a box. I try to put one hand behind me to catch myself, but with my concentration split, I realize I can't hold the shield just a second too late. Everything's to happen in slow motion as two dark fireballs head straight for me. I see something orange in my peripheral vision streak by me and I realize it's a person. Shu? The figure jumps in front of me at the same instant the fireballs reach me and make contact with their body. I cover my face as bits of fire fall everywhere around me. Are you okay, Harkura? See, Shu, you kinda, for all of the doubts that you had earlier, I hope this more than makes up for it, since, single-handedly saved my life. I slowly take my hands down, frightened of what I might see. Shu is in front of me, half kneeling. He glances back at me, breathing heavily. Oh no, he's singed! His clothes are partially burning away from the black fire and he has burns all over the skin that's revealed. But Shu's face only shows only a little of the pain he must be feeling. There's an intensity in his eyes that I've only seen once before. I'm too stunned to say anything at all. My eyes move toward the girl and I see that she stopped moving and is looking past me. Shu! I turn to see Shinji, Tatsuya, and Hikaru while people arrive on scene. Shinji and Hikaru immediately run to Shu. In that moment, the girl runs past me before I have a chance to even process everything that's happening. Tatsuya reaches out to catch her, but the moment he grabs her arm, he jumps and lets go, as if touching her was painful. She doesn't look back as she disappears into the crowd on the sidewalk behind us. I look back towards Shu and see him trying to stand, but his knees quickly buckle. Shu! I scramble to get up and catch his arm, preventing him from falling. I put it around one of my shoulders while Shinji gets the other. I can yell at him after he's healed. You reckless idiot. I can yell at him after he's healed. I bite my lip. I want to yell to reprimand him for being so reckless. Now's not the time. I can yell at him after he's healed. I glance at Shu out of the corner of my eye. With his face twisted in agony, Shu doesn't seem like he'd even be able to say anything to me. I ignore the heavy feeling in my stomach. Tatsuya walks over and gently takes Shu's arm from me, putting his arm over his shoulder. Hikaru motions for me to set Shu down in a corner he could lean on while he examines him. I stand there sobbing and feeling completely useless. Would cryokinesis help something like this? Or would cryokinesis help something like this? Yeah, maybe we could just freeze the burns? That works. For two intelligent guys, your suggestions don't make much sense. Just calm down and let me handle it. Shu himself looks like he's starting to succumb to the pain. His eyes are closed as he leans against the wall and he's gritting his teeth. I see a small but bright light from Hikaru's hands as he places them over Shu's burns. Why, Shu? Why? I don't know, wanted to. For whatever reason, this makes me cry even harder, and Tetsuya looks up at me. Crying is not going to help right now. Why don't you go home? Shu's not going to die. He's in good hands with the professor. I can't leave Shu like this. I won't. Hikaru stands up, apparently done with healing Shu. Shu himself seems to be almost asleep, his breathing more regular. Hikaru looks at me. You're too emotional to get home by yourself. I'll take you. He looks back at Shinji, who's helping prop up Shu. Please take Shu home. He needs a lot of rest right now. How about the fact that the woman who attacked us in the first place is still out there, guys? I just got off work, so I'll help you get him back. I don't think he's capable of standing right now. I watch Tetsuya and Shinji pick up unconscious Shu up, and Hikaru puts a hand on my shoulder. They'll be fine. Come on, let's go. I spent the first few minutes in a car finishing off my pathetic sobbing in front of Hikaru. God, I've never been so embarrassed. But Hikaru never said anything, just quietly kept driving. I keep wondering what he thinks of me, of the whole situation. Does he think I'm reckless? Does he think I'm pathetic for crying like this? I can't ask him these things, but I finally get up the courage to ask one question. Is Shu going to be okay? I watch Hikaru's face as it's occasionally illuminated by street lights. I can't read him at all. Finally, he glances at me. Of course he will. He's all healed up already. Healing just draws on your own energy, so he's going to be exhausted. But we both know Shu has plenty of energy, so he'll probably be back to 100% by tomorrow. Oh, good. I'm relieved to hear that, but the shame of my actions won't disappear so easily. Why was Shu there, though? Why was Shinji? I don't understand how you guys found me. Shinji was coming in to handle something with his manager, and Shu had come with him. Shu saw you run past him, apparently, and sent Shinji inside to get help. He went after you by himself. Oh. I ran past Shu and I didn't even see him. I feel my eyes filling with tears again. Shu, you knew something was wrong and you saved me. There's a silence for a few moments in the car while I try to wrangle my emotions. Angel, what's going on? Ah, the question I've been waiting for. To be honest, I don't really know. I've been seeing this girl around lately and I've had a few times where my stuff has come up missing. I saw her leaving the cafe and I just wanted to question her, but she started running. I had no idea she would just attack me like that. Hikaru says nothing in response, and for the millionth time I wonder what he's thinking. We arrive at my apartment and I start to get out of the car, exhausted from all that happened today. Angel, don't try to take on everything by yourself. That was dangerous. You might not have survived that. Or worse, you could have lost control of your powers and no one would have. Good night, Professor Kazama. I drag myself out of Hikaru's car, burdened under the reality of his ominous warning. I stare at the ceiling. I'm exhausted, but sleep won't come. Why was I so stupid? Why did I chase after her? Why did I think I could handle everything by myself? Why am I so dangerous, but yet I can't protect myself? I couldn't even protect Shu. He had to clean up my mess for me. These painful thoughts spin around and around, no matter how much I toss and turn. I'm going to have to study even harder. I have to get better. This world is even more dangerous than I thought. What was that black fire? Why did it hurt Shu? Right, Shu is fireproof, so I don't think that's rigged. I don't think that's normal fire. I think it's black magic, maybe blood magic. And why did Shu risk his life for me? Because he loves you, Arkora. Come on, get it to your head. As if on cue, I get a text message. I'm surprised to see it's actually from Shu, who I thought would be passed out. Aw, it's so sweet, he's giving me an update. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. I'm just glad I could protect one of my friends. Let's meet up tomorrow to discuss this. I think I want to bring you somewhere. Yes! Seeing the text made me feel better, but I touched the glass over one word. Friends. Is that all we'll ever be? Harkora, you kind of need to meet him halfway there. Harkora, you've been friend-zoning him left and right. I'm the one who's been shoving you. I'm not nudging, shoving you towards him. If you want to be more than friends, then you're gonna have to pick up the pace, my dear. Get with the program. I'm waiting outside for Shu. After Magic Theory ended for the day, he asked me to wait for him while he talked to Professor Hikaru about something. The minute feels like hours. I start tracing the tiles in the pavement to distract myself. I wonder what Shu wants to do today. Oh, maybe we can go to the arcade together or eat somewhere, or... Not long after, I hear footsteps approaching and a pair of familiar shoes comes into my field of vision. I look up just as Shu walks up to me. His expression worries me. Hey, so, can we go to the station? I think we should go talk to my parents today. Not that I'm saying no, but why go to your parents? They're researchers. They know a ton about phoenixes. And that woman's fire shouldn't have hurt me, so I want to find out why it did. I feel better knowing that we might be able to find out more, but my relief is tainted with a twinge of disappointment. So he didn't want to just spend time with me after all. Well, he wants you to meet the parents, Harkura. That's huge. That's a good thing. Meeting his parents. Oh, okay, yeah. I have to go work today, so we can go now. And I'm totally not nervous. Nope, I'm just meeting my friend's parents. No big deal. Oh, relax, my dear. You'll be fine. We made it to Hotori Labs pretty easily, but the secretary wouldn't let us into the actual labs. While Shu talked to the secretary, I could see people in the lab coats going in and out of the room marked Laboratory, authorized personnel only. We were told to wait in the offices instead while he retrieved Dr. Hattori. Shu is sitting next to me on one of the sofas in the meeting room, rhythmically tapping his feet against the floor. The door swings open and 2 people in lab coats walk in. They look around the room, and when their eyes land on Shu, they walk towards us. When they get closer, I can finally get a better look at them. The man is tall, with short spiky light brown hair and honey brown eyes. He has a very sharp face, although from the bags under his eyes it's clear he hasn't been sleeping much. The woman is beautiful, with golden brown eyes and long blonde hair that she swept to the side. The couple stop in front of Shu, who jumps to his feet as soon as he sees them. Even his parents are beautiful. Both of them look rather surprised to see me. Oh, we can't see what they look like. Shu, I see you brought a friend with you. I quickly get up, trying not to seem like I'm panicking. It's unusual for our son to bring friends to meet us. Ooh, did you hear that, Arkura? This is not a usual thing. That's good news. Regardless, a pleasure. I'm Dr. Masura Hattori, and this is my wife, Dr. Ai Hattori. Mr. and Mrs. Hattori will be sufficient, as we don't want to cause confusion. Now, Shu, why don't you introduce your friend? Shu's parents look into him for an introduction. I don't know why, but I feel a little annoyed. I'm Harkura Angel. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Hattori. I bow slightly after introducing myself. Harkura is a sorceress that I've been tasked to watch over as part of my grade. I hold back a smile threatening to form. Shu is practically beaming like the sun at the simple fact that he's my partner. I cannot help but feel a little more than a little happy after that. But his parents look worried instead. Sorceress, is that so? And is there a particular reason you've come to us, other than simply to meet your friend? Actually, yeah, something happened last night. We encountered another phoenix last night, and she attacked us. The Dr. Satori both frown and wait for Shu to finish talking. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, of course, but she used this dark fire. The woman managed to hit me and... Oh, stars, no, she hit you with it? Mrs. Hattori frantically starts checking over Shu for any visible signs of damage. Mr. Hattori looks practically pale. His eyes settle on a very awkward Shu. Are you alright, son? Really? Yes, I'm fine, Mom and Dad. My Professor Kazama healed me, so I'm completely fine. But that's not the point. What I wanted to ask is, how is it that the fire could cause any damage in the first place? Mr. and Mrs. Hattori glance at each other. Because that woman is a dark phoenix. She's got Jean Grey all over that stuff, which is bad for us. I knew it. That had to have been a dark phoenix. I knew it. I agree, but that begs the question. Just how did you cross paths with one of those corrupt things? I can explain that. I can explain that. I actually chased her without really knowing who or what she was. I was being stalked, you see, and it was that dark phoenix who was my stalker. I probably should have thought it through better before running after her. Mr. and Mrs. Hattori remain quiet. They look at me with what I think can safely assume is silent judgment. Miss Angel, we would like to speak with our son in private. If you would be so kind as to wait outside the office. Oh, of course. Oh, great. I bow slightly. Shu looks away from me. Shu, the silent sting of being unwanted almost makes me flinch. If you'll excuse me then. I go out into the hallway to wait for Shu, but even with the office door closed, I can hear everything perfectly. Shu, we shouldn't have to tell you this. You need to stay away from that girl. Oh, come on. Come on, guys. What? Why? She's my friend, and I promise to protect her. I can't just... Shu, there's a reason that sorcerers are nearly extinct now. The gods themselves despise her kind because of the one who gave them power. If you continue to hang around this girl, it will only end badly for you. Sorcerers are magnets for bad things, so please stay away from Miss Angel. Well, doesn't that mean that they need protection? If you're saying is true and that we're almost extinct, doesn't that mean that we deserve some protection before we get snuffed out? If she needs assistance, so be it, but tell her to pick someone else. Hearing their words sends a chill through me, as if an arctic wind blew through me. I'm frozen in my spot. I know I should move. I know I should go somewhere where I can't hear what they're talking about, so they think I'll end up getting Shu hurt or worse. When I think back to him jumping out in front of me like that, I can't help but reluctantly agree with that assessment. The silence from the office is deafening. I can see what's going on behind the closed door. I'm tempted to crack the door open to sneak a peek, but I can't imagine how I would even begin to explain if I was caught. No, I can't. I can't just abandon her. I won't be like that. I won't be like you. Shu, wait. Shu! Through the voices of Mr. and Mrs. Torre, I hear loud footsteps coming closer to the door. I quickly scramble to get further away from the door, and I look out the window. My heart pounds as the office door swings open and a visibly angry Shu stomps out. Shu, what? Ah! Instead of saying anything, Shu grabs my hand and suddenly drags me out of the building with him. We're at the same little park Shinji took us last time. Sitting together on the bench surrounded by the quiet sounds of the evening. Shu hasn't spoken a single word since we left his parents' office. I haven't either, but I'm not really sure what to say. Oh, hey Shu, so your parents think I'll get you killed. Doesn't sound like a thing sound like a thing to ever mention. I absently stare at the sky, my thoughts drift through the events of the day. So, your parents hate me. The words slip out of my lips before I can even comprehend what I said. Shu finally turns to me. They don't hate you. They're just always like that. Strict and to the point, logic above all. He looks up at the sky and sighs. About what they said, about people like me, sorcerers. What do they mean? Shu laughs lightly. So you did over here. I figured you must have. It's not like they were trying to keep their voices down. Yes, sorry. It's okay, it's not your fault. And about sorcerers. He continues to stare at the sky for a few moments. Shu then turns to me. I don't know the whole history, but I'll tell you what I do know. You should know about your own people after all. He pauses. I wonder if the topic is particularly hard, or if perhaps he doesn't know much about sorcerers at all. History says that sorcerers were first a group of humans who earned the favor of the god of chaos. As a gift, he gave them all powers. The powers were great, to the point that where these new sorcerers could warp reality. The other gods didn't like this, and they asked the god of chaos to restore what was and take away the special powers from the humans. He refused, and out of spite, the other gods declared that they would destroy his creations. From then on, sorcerers waged wars with the gods themselves, and I think they nearly won, but they were betrayed by the humans who worshipped the gods and didn't want to incur their wrath. So that's why it's said that sorcerers are bad luck, and that there are not many of them left. I see, so that's how it is. A cold wind blows between us, as if somehow echoing the whispers of the past. Well, I don't know how true that really is. Most of the sorcerers were already gone by the time I was born. Professor K might know if it's actually true or not, though. If it's true, is that what she lived through? Is it going to be my fates too? This new knowledge weighs heavily on my heart and my mind. We fall back into silence, and for a while only the gentle chirps of birds fill the evening air. I want to find out more about sorcerers, but I'm also afraid. I'm afraid that the truth might be far worse than I can imagine. I sigh and look at Shu. He's staring into the sky again, hands in his hoodie pockets. He seems to be watching the flocks of birds dance across the orange sky. The fading sun illuminates Shu's blonde hair, adding a golden hue that creates a halo-like effect. Like an angel! Almost like a scene from a Renaissance painting. It takes my breath away. Shu does look... See, I told you, Shu does look like an angel. I told you, that's why I picked him. Shu suddenly turns to me. Hey, can I tell you something? Yes, of course. I grew up in a relatively large family. 2 brothers and a sister, but they're all a lot older than me. I'm the baby of the family, and as far as I can remember, I was always alone. My parents were far too wrapped up in their important research to pay any attention to a failure of a phoenix like me. Shu, no, you aren't a failure. In fact, you're so amazing. Just think about it. Over a short amount of time, you managed to improve so much, and it's just the start. You're getting better and better every day. All you lacked is the discipline to practice. Now you've got that down, so you won't have any trouble. Shu cracks a smile at my impassioned speech. Thanks. Actually, my parents have been paying more attention to me lately. They heard about how well I'm doing in classes and how great I did in the play. Yeah, but that's not cool. Parents shouldn't just suddenly pay more attention to their kid just because they start succeeding in things. If anything, they should pay attention to their kid more when they're failing, when they're falling, when they need the help getting back up. That's when parents really should start paying more attention. They had even promised to go to the next one. He pauses and sighs. But now it feels like we're back to how we always were. A horrible feeling lies on like a rock on my heart. It squeezes down painfully. I feel so helpless. Well, that's not your fault, Shu. That's their fault as parents. That's their fault as their lousy parents. Yes, I said it. Lousy parents. It's because of me, isn't it? Now, just because they're lousy doesn't mean that they can't change, that they can't improve, but, call it how it is, because if nobody points it out, then there's no chance for them to change, if nobody ever points it out. Shu looks down at the ground. He remains silent, but I get the hint. So it is. I feel nauseous. I get up, but Shu grabs my arm and I stop. I look down at him, wishing he would somehow say it's all okay, but he doesn't even look up. I can't see his expression, but his grip on my arm loosens and he lets go. I can feel my eyes prickle with tears. I quietly walk away. Shu doesn't call out to me, even once. I'm doing another shift at Veritas. Shinji and Tatsuya are working this one with me. I stare out at the massive windows. Miss, can I get a honey roasted hazelnut cappuccino and a strawberry shortcake, please? I blink. What did he say? I try out to put on my best smile. I'm so sorry, sir. Can you please repeat your order? Sure. Honey roasted hazelnut cappuccino and a strawberry shortcake. I'll get that for you right away. Excuse me. I rush into the kitchen and start preparing the order. I grab one of the freshly prepared vanilla cheesecakes and get to making the cappuccino. It's strawberry. Hardcore, are you alright? Huh? What? I look up from the coffee maker. Yes, I'm fine. Why do you ask? Because you just prepared the wrong order. I did? I quickly check my notebook. Oh no, I did. I'll get the... The coffee cup slips from my hand and falls to the floor and shatters, spattering the hot coffee everywhere. It even gets on my legs. Ow! I'll clean it up. Ignoring the burning pain on my legs, I rush to clean up the mess. I crouch down to start collecting the broken pieces, but a pair of hands gently pulls me up to my feet. I look up to a very concerned-looking Shinji. Clearly, something isn't right. I'm not going to force you to tell me anything, but you are very distracted right now. He's right, Hakura. Even the customers noticed you're not all here. You go on, take a walk and clear your head. Tatsuya and Shinji can clean this mess while you're gone. Yes, okay, thank you. I'll make it up to you guys when I come back. I bow a little and head out through the back door. I decide to take a little walk without going too far away from work and hopefully not run into any dark phoenix gene rays. The crisp night air instantly starts to help me clear out the haziness from my mind. I wander around the bustling street, distracting myself by looking at the various displays. I'm looking at a selection of adorable earrings when I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket. Ignoring the sinking feeling, I pull it out of my pocket. Seeing the name Kaio on the screen, I'm not sure whether to be relieved or to cry. I was half expecting it to be Shu. I quickly answered the phone. Hello? Big sis, you haven't come home for ages. I miss you. You'd promised you'd visit. Sorry, Kaio. Life has just been a little crazy. I have so many more classes than I first expected. I also signed up for a club. To get the full experience. I promise I will visit soon, though. Are you going to be at the party on Saturday? I'm so jealous, but I have a concert that night, so I can't. Party? I think back to what she could possibly be going on about. Then I remember an email my dad had forwarded me for some fancy business party asking me to come. Oh, that. I hate those things, but if you're not going to be there, I should bring a date, is what should happen. I trail off, leaving the application but not saying it. Someone definitely has to be there to support Dad if Kaio can't, especially since Shizuka is... Yeah, I'll definitely be coming. Though I wish I could come to your concert instead. I'm sure you'll be great. So how are you? How's the new school? Oh, sis, it's great. I actually made a new friend. A boyfriend. Oh, a boyfriend. Yeah, his name is Yuki and he's in my class. He's so kind and smart and we talk about everything. I And he's so amazing at art. You should see, it's just so incredible. And now he's got the prettiest eyes and the nicest smile, although he doesn't smile often, but when he does, it just lights up the room. And he's so cute and nice, and Kaio finally stops her rant to breathe. Oh wow, she has it real bad for this boy. It's so cute. So I take it you like Yuki. Well, yes, I do. I like him a lot. Did you have anyone like that, sis? Do I? Images of Shu immediately flash through my mind. Shu is special to me, but... What's with all the buts, Harkura? Come on! Oh, Harkura, I love you, dear, but you're really frustrating sometimes. I think back to the almost kiss we had and how he just let me walk away earlier. Can I even say that we have anything like that between us? Yes, you do. Do you not recognize, romantic, do you not recognize sexual tension when you see it? Hey sis, you still there? Kaio's voice snaps me back to reality. Huh? Oh yeah, I'm here, sorry. To answer your question, yes. There is someone like Ryuki in my life, but it's complicated. I take in my surroundings and realize that I've wandered too far away from Veritas. I hate that word for relationships. I don't know, I just hate the word complicated for relationships, because it's just... I feel like it's overused. I feel like complicated is used in ways that, I just really don't like. I despise that word when it comes to complicated, even though for many people complicated is the best way you can describe your situation, but I turn around and start making my way back. So when do I get... I run right into someone, although for a split second I think I've run into a brick wall. The collision sends me flying backwards. I see it almost happen, almost in slow motion. The man reaches his arm out and grabs me. He pulls me forward and I end up colliding with his hard chest. He wraps his arms around me to keep me from falling. I have been running into a lot of people lately. Maybe I need to get some new glasses. I look up at my savior. It's the vampire! I gasp. Oh my god, he's so... My mind draws a complete blank at the sight of him. Pressed against him, I can't help but notice how warm he feels. Even through all his clothes, I can still feel how hard his chest is. No wonder I thought I'd run into an actual wall. With his porcelain skin and sculpted face, I briefly wonder if he's not actually some Roman statue come to life. Could he be a god? That's right, they look like statues. His vivid eyes practically shine with amusement as he looks down at me. He even smells so nice. Are you alright? The man asks with a slight accent, though I can't quite place it. His voice is deeper than I would have thought, and yet it fits perfectly. Yes, I'm very fine. I'm fine, thank you. He slowly lets me go for a second. I see a flash of something, almost like regret. I stand in place, barely able to form thoughts. You are far prettier than what I heard described, dear lady. What? It seems that no words could do you justice. Huh? Angel. Hearing my name, I'm snapped out of my strange trance. I look past the beautiful man only to see Tetsuya walking towards us. I wave at Tetsuya. I was taking so long they actually sent someone to look for me? I look back at my stranger only to see him walking away. I want to cry out, tell him to wait, to not leave. The realization of how odd that would be strikes me and I stop. What am I even doing? That's so weird. The stranger fades into the bustling crowd, just as Tetsuya runs up to me. Where have you been? Since when does a short walk mean nearly an hour? Do you know how worried we've been? I came to find you in case something was wrong. Tetsuya keeps lecturing me, but I can barely focus. Oh no. What? Kaio. I look at my phone and realize that the call has been running all this time. Kaio, I'm so sorry. It's fine, sis, but what's going on? Are you okay? I hear someone familiar. Who's that you're talking to? I'm fine, Kaio. Everything's fine. I just walked into someone by accident. I have to go now. I need to get back to work. Bye. I end the call and shove the phone into my pocket. Wasting no time, I actually speed walk back to Veritas. Tetsuya scrambles behind me, trying to keep up.